Miller's signing with the Cowboys. The 8-time Pro Bowler agreed to a 1-year contract worth $5.5 million with a max value of $7.5 million. Miller knows Texas well. He attended DeSoto High School before Texas A&M, so he's back home in a way. And Miller's former teammate in Denver, DeMarcus Ware, said this on the signing. Quote, "You got a lot of guys that come in, older guys, former guys like me, and they can teach. But it's different when you got somebody sitting in the seat with you that's going to get padded up, learning the same things as you and performing. Those guys, they looked up to you, but their whole careers. But now I get to play with him. It's a totally different mindset the boys are going to have now." He's talking about some of that youth that they're going to rely on for the Cowboys, and now they get to say, yeah, like, I grew up watching you, and now you're my teammate. Mina, Miller, late in his career, right? But this has been the offseason of the Cowboys' immediate impact on this Dallas D. He gives immediate impact on this Dallas D.
He gives them depth, which is something they now kind of have a lot of at edge. And it actually reminds me a little bit of the build in Seattle, where the strength of your team is your defensive tackles. Quinnen Williams is the focal point of this defensive line. But at edge now, you have Rashawn Gary, who you added, Donovan Ezeraku, who I think quietly was quite good last year. You add Von Miller, you got the first-round draft pick Malachi Lawrence. A lot of those players, by the way, are very good against the run as well, similarly to Seattle. But I think the point is this. This is a defense that's going to rush for a lot, and now you have waves of pass rushers that you can send at the quarterback over the course of the game. So even if he's not, obviously 2016 Von Miller, just having him there late in the game as a depth piece is going to be valuable for this defense.
Von Miller had 9 sacks last season. The Cowboys defense had 9 sacks on third down as a unit.
Ooh.
So no, he is not going to be a guy that breaks the sack record. But 9 sacks in only 246 pass rushes is pretty darn good. And so for a unit that is vastly improved, for the opportunity to have this guy in a clear and obvious pass rush situation 10 times a game, 12 times a game is going to be a massive deal. I think it's situationally a good addition. If we fast forward to December and you tell Cowboys fans, hey, Von Miller's got 10 sacks, that means the Cowboys are more than likely a top half defense.
Yeah.
He's played in situational football, and they're probably going to be a playoff team. And so I think that this is something that not only will, in those moments, give him the chance to either win one-on-ones or maybe attract a little of attention, but also in the division last year, those 2 young pass rushers now can tap into him about some of those divisional opponents, both scheme and individual talent.
Yeah, 7.5 of those 9 sacks you're talking about came on plays with exactly 4 pass rushers. So live. Oh no, turn away, Giants fans. Jackson Dart taking a hard hit in preseason week 1. You hate to see it. That's what they're trying to avoid, right? But it happened. Dart spoke after the game about being evaluated in the medical tent.
As far as the blue tent, like I really respect the rules and the thought behind, the NFL has of keeping players healthy and reviewing things. But at the same time, I'm still puzzled by it just feeling like every time that I get hit, I just find my way in there, which at times I still try to wrap my head around. But that's all that I'm going to say about that situation.
All right, so Dan, the story of Jackson Dart in the medical tent continued this weekend in preseason, but was Dart actually the one to blame for all that? Is there more blame to be dispersed around him?
No, it's 0.01% on him. It's the running back's fault. The running back has to be able to pick that up. I do think it's an example of, one, have to be aware that you can't expose yourself at all because you probably are a little bit more with the eye on you with the blue tent. But it does overshadow which was a nice start for Jackson Dart in this new offense. I thought the connection that he had with Isaiah Likely multiple times, the ball came out quickly. That was nice. You saw him make some plays in structure and out of structure. And so the decision-making was there under this new offense with Matt Nagy and his new tight end weapon. So you love to see that. And then he has the broken play where, Malachi Fields adjusts and him and Scatteraboo kind of see it the same way. And it's this really nice play. That should be the storyline coming out of week 1 for the Giants is some of these young players developing together and continuing to build hope for the season rather than Jackson Dart having another situation or issue with the tent. So I'm not putting it on him, but I do think it's a opportunity to remind in the sensitivity of, like, you can't also then expose yourself on first down in the first quarter to some of the hits you did last year. Learn from that.
Yeah.
Some of the sacks also, I mean, just in general, had to do with Brian Flores saying, you know, hey, it ain't preseason for me.
Yeah.
Actually, I noticed a few defensive play callers along the league leaning into more pressures and maybe more exotic looks than we've seen in the preseason. As far as the Giants go, you know, when I'm watching, like, starters in the preseason, generally, I'm looking for individual performances. Dan, you highlighted a couple of them, Likely and Fields, who, by the way, also got his nose dirty blocking for the run. I think that's going to get him on the field, too. That's meaningful. And then you're looking for, like, shifts and tendencies in the offense. And I think with New York, there's an interesting one. They are going to use the fullback, Patrick Ricard, a lot. On first down last season, this Giants offense had 4 snaps the entire season with more than one back on the field. They had 3 on first down in 2 drives for Jackson Dart, 21 and 22 personnel. So this is a offense, I think, that's going to go very heavy, even when Malik Neighbors is back. That's going to be the identity of the team. Hopefully they can get some base defenses off of that they can play action, they can attack with play action. But I do think, to me, Dan, that was kind of the big takeaway I had from this game was like, oh, all right, like, John Harbaugh brought Patrick Ricard to New York for a reason. He is going to be a huge part of this offense moving forward.
Yeah, and Mina, you mentioned Malik Neighbors. How about this? New on NFL Live from our Giants reporter, Jordan Renan. Malik Neighbors actually took reps in live 11-on-11 drills while wearing a red jersey, usually reserved for quarterbacks. He also caught 3 passes in 7-on-7 drills. So this is the first time in full-speed live drills since tearing his knee.
Aaron Donald worked out for the Rams on Saturday as he continues his process to determine whether he wants to come out of retirement. Donald's tryout at the team facility was the second time he's worked out for the team this training camp, and Coach Sean McVay said Donald's decision will come on, quote, his timeline. On our timeline to return with Dan Graziano is right now, and the needle appears to keep pointing the direction that Aaron Donald's coming back, but how close is that to becoming a reality?
You know, it's the second time he's gone to their facility and worked out this training camp since training camp started. So, yes, it's going to be on his timeline, but it does appear that he's trying to accelerate his timeline in terms of deciding whether this is something he wants to do, which means come back and play. And he has to be convinced he's willing to put himself through a whole NFL season and that he can play at the level to which he is accustomed. The workout yesterday or over the weekend was a strong sign that we are nearing a resolution. I wouldn't be surprised if a resolution came in the next couple of days. Of course, it's still possible. Aaron Donald could come to them and say, look, I just don't feel like I can do it. But at this point, Matt, I feel like it would be a surprise if he doesn't play.
Right. There's been so much flirtation at this point. You would think that they're going to find a way to get this worked out to get him in. He's not going to play every snap like he did back in his prime, but we'll see what happens. Any Aaron Donald's a good Aaron Donald. That's not an overreaction, but it is Overreaction Monday. I'm going to give you a series of statements, and you tell me which category they fall into. And I want to start in Cleveland. Deshaun Watson, who was in competition with Shedeur Sanders, started the Browns preseason opener. He was 11 of 15, 126 yards, 2 scoring drives, the only points for Cleveland. So Deshaun Watson is really going to start week 1 for the Browns. Overreaction or not?
It's not an overreaction. Head coach Todd Monken is still saying this is a competition and that Shedeur Sanders, as has been planned, will start the second game of the preseason with Watson relieving him. So a reversal of what happened over the weekend. But Watson has looked good. He has looked healthy. The coaching staff has been impressed with what he has shown. And at this point, you would have to consider him the favorite to be the week 1 starter for the Cleveland Browns in what is the 5th and final season of that fully guaranteed contract they gave him all the way back in 2022.
Oops. All right, another quarterback competition, kind of. Not really, because Tua's going to start because Michael Penix Jr. is hurt. 3 of 5, 22 yards against the Broncos. So, Graz, the Falcons will be in the quarterback market again next spring. Overreaction or not?
It's not an overreaction. Even if Tua plays well, he's only there on a 1-year contract, and Michael Penix is entering his 3rd year of his rookie contract, which means next May the team would have to make a decision on a potential 5th-year option for him for the year 2028. He hasn't really shown enough for them to make that decision, and if he can't get healthy and play this year, it's hard to imagine he could for a new coaching staff and a new front office that's different from the one that drafted him. So, yeah, Atlanta, a strong candidate to continue to look for that long-term quarterback next spring.
No quarterback questions for the Bengals. Joe Burrow and the starters came out to play in the preseason opener. He was out there for just 13 snaps, resulting just a punt and a field goal. Lions didn't play their starters. They were still able to get to Burrow, including getting a sack. Graz, the Bengals still can't protect Joe Burrow. Overreaction or not?
It's an overreaction, and we see these clips of him getting hit, but the work the Bengals are doing to try and protect him better is significant. They have him under center more. They feel like incorporating that into the offense will help in terms of his protection. They feel like the offensive line is in a better spot than it's been in at any time since he has been their quarterback. There were a couple of spots where it looked ugly in the preseason on Thursday night, but I don't believe that means we should panic as we head into the season for Cincinnati. They know that protecting Burrow has been a problem. It is a priority, and they're doing a number of different things to try and help with it.
And I just think as a football fan, we want to see a healthy Joe Burrow to